Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Brian coming to you from thinkhealthyfitness.com. Today I'm going to be covering in detail how you can lose weight quickly with my Lose 30 Pounds in 30 Days diet plan. Or we're going to try to come pretty damn close to it. First off, losing this kind of weight is not that easy. It's going to take consistency and lots of discipline. Tip number 1, utilize a carbohydrate detox. Now when I say detox, I'm not referring to a cleanse or recommending that you drink nothing but tea. What I'm referring to is limiting your carbohydrate intake temporarily. By doing this, you are allowing your body to reset hormones like insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. Even your stress hormone cortisol plays an important part. These all play a huge role when it comes to your hunger and your metabolism. Trust me, you want these hormones working for you, not against you. Now, why do you ask? Well, let's cover what each one of these hormones actually does. We'll start with the first one, insulin. So insulin is a hormone that helps regulate your blood sugar. Unfortunately, there is a large increase in the number of people who are becoming pre-diabetic, or better known as insulin resistant. It is estimated that more than 100 million Americans are pre-diabetic. Now, the most common form of diabetes is type 2, which occurs when the body is resistant to insulin. Now, why is this bad? Well, insulin allows your cells to absorb glucose for energy. When your body becomes resistant to insulin, your cells are not able to absorb the glucose properly. This results in high blood sugar, which can lead to all sorts of serious health issues, such as hyperglycemia, heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, and even vision and nerve problems. Low-carb diets, which is essentially what a carb detox is, have been shown to be very effective at improving insulin sensitivity, reducing blood glucose fluctuations, and lowering blood glucose fasting levels. Hormone number 2, leptin. Leptin is a hormone that lets your body know when you are full, also known as the satiety hormone. It is produced in your body's fat cells. So the more body fat you have, the more leptin these fat cells produce. Generally, people who are obese are generally leptin resistant. This means that even though your body is producing it, your brain isn't able to actually see it. So what ends up happening? You eat more from a lack of hunger control. Hormone number 3, ghrelin. Ghrelin, also known as the hunger hormone, sends signals to your brain so you know when to eat. Unfortunately, when you go on any diet, your ghrelin levels are going to increase, which in turn is going to make your hunger increase. During a carbohydrate detox, your body will obviously want to try and produce more ghrelin. It's just going to happen. One way to help counteract that is to consume protein, and a lot of it. Studies show that by consuming high levels of protein, you can actually help reduce the production of ghrelin. Okay, so now you know the benefits of utilizing a carbohydrate detox. But you're probably wondering, how do I actually go about doing one? First off, a carb detox is only meant to be done temporarily. It's not something you can sustain for a long period of time, nor would it actually be healthy. You would take 1 week where you consume virtually no carbohydrates. The only source that they would be coming from would be green, non-starchy vegetables. This would equate to roughly 30 to 40 carbs, depending on how many vegetables you ate throughout the day. In addition to the vegetables, you would be consuming protein from lean sources like chicken, turkey, and lean ground beef. Tip number 2, avoid sugar. I know we've already discussed carb detoxing, so it shouldn't really come as a surprise that we want to avoid sugar. We've all heard that sugar is not good for us. It rots our teeth, etc., right? The question is, do you know why it's horrible for weight loss? You see, when your body takes in large amounts of refined sugar, your body is not able to store it as glycogen and reuse it for energy. Table sugar, also known as sucrose, is made up of 1 part glucose, 1 part fructose. Now glucose, which is the body's preferred carb-based energy source, is typically absorbed right away. Glucose instantly raises your blood sugar and stimulates insulin production. Once glucose is inside your cells, your body will either use that glucose immediately or turn it into glycogen where it can be stored in your muscles for future use. Fructose, which is fruit sugar, is metabolized a little bit differently. So fructose does not raise your blood sugar right away, which is actually a good thing. However, your body cannot directly absorb fructose. It has to be converted in the liver first. Since your liver is the only organ that can actually metabolize fructose, once you've reached your daily limit, your body will automatically convert any excess fructose into fat. This is why you should only have 1 to 2 servings of fruit per day. Now let's focus our attention back to sucrose. We already know that it's made up of both fructose and glucose, which we talked about earlier. What you probably didn't know was that when you eat them chemically bonded together, your body stimulates the release of insulin. Because of the sudden release of insulin, your body is now going to take all of that fructose and immediately store it as fat. And you better believe that all of that fat is going to be stored directly around the belly region. If that wasn't enough, Now you're going to have higher blood sugar, which can eventually turn into insulin resistance. Bottom line, just avoid sugar. Tip number 3, avoid alcohol. This shouldn't come as a surprise, but I had to say it anyways. If you're going to be following my lose 30 pounds in 30 days diet plan, you shouldn't even be thinking about drinking alcohol. And there's a few good reasons for this. Problem number 1, alcohol is nothing but empty calories, meaning there's literally zero nutritional value to alcohol. Problem number 2, the calories it does contain are higher than most macros. Alcohol contains 7 calories per gram. The only macro that contains more calories per gram is obviously fat, which contains 9 calories per gram. But remember, our body can actually utilize fat. Alcohol, on the other hand, is pretty much useless and becomes easily converted into body fat. Problem number 3, your body focuses on getting it out first and pauses everything else. What ends up happening is since your body is burning up the alcohol, it loses its focus on fat burning. Fat burning has been shown to reduce as much as 73% just from consuming 1 shot of vodka. Problem number 4, alcohol might cause you to get the dreaded beer gut. I don't know about you, but I usually get very hungry when I start drinking. In fact, studies even show that hunger can dramatically increase after alcohol consumption. And within those studies, more than 39% reported that the food that they were eating were not healthy food choices. All right, so let's pump the brakes here. So we've already concluded that fat loss takes a giant halt when you drink alcohol. Now that we've slowed down our metabolism, now we're even more likely to eat fattening, unhealthy foods. As I said before, just steer clear of alcohol. Tip number 4, consume lots of water. People generally do not drink enough. When it comes to weight loss, water is going to be your best friend. I would recommend buying a gallon of water and carrying it with you until it's finished before you go to sleep. I would do this every day, especially during the detox. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. Benefit number 1, drinking water provides fat burning potential. When you drink water, your resting energy expenditure, also known as how many calories you burn at rest, actually increases. One study showed that within 10 minutes, adults who drank 1 glass of water increased their resting energy expenditure by 24 to 30%. Remember, it takes energy to consume food, water, etc. So when you consume water, which has 0 calories, it requires energy to consume, digest, absorb, and expel it out of your body. Benefit number 2, it curbs your appetite. Ever hear of the saying, people often mistake hunger for thirst? Well, it's true. Benefit number 3, you won't retain as much water. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Drink more water, retain less? However, by regularly consuming enough water, your body becomes adequate at expelling water from your system, which in turn leads to less bloating and less water retention. Tip number 5, eat healthier. Okay, so we've discussed the importance of detoxing. Now we need to fast forward to eating healthier. You should be consuming more nutrient-dense foods. I'm not talking about pastas, bread, and greasy fatty meats. I'm referring to lean proteins, complex carbs, and healthy fats. We'll start with protein first. Some examples of lean protein would be chicken, salmon, shrimp, turkey, lean ground beef, and non-fat plain Greek yogurt. You could also squeeze in a low-carb protein shake to mix things up. Now, if you're a vegan, then you want to focus on sources like hemp seeds, spirulina, black beans, pinto beans, natto, lentils, tofu, and chia seeds. You could also incorporate a low-carb plant-based protein shake into your schedule. Next on the list, complex carbs. There are fewer nutrient-dense carbohydrate sources than you think. While these are not all of them, this is definitely a good place to start. So I would recommend consuming brown rice, sweet potatoes, squash, yams, oatmeal, black beans, pinto beans, and quinoa. I do not recommend eating bread at all. And the reason, bread has been shown to make our gut wall more permeable, allowing the migration of toxins and undigested food particles to cause involuntary immune responses. Just avoid bread. Next, let's focus on fruits. Most fruits in general are considered healthy. Some provide more nutrients than others. Again, these are not all of the fruits you can eat, but there definitely is some that you should be considering. They are blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, cherries, kiwi, and strawberries. Types of fruits to avoid when losing weight: ripe bananas, dried fruit of any kind, fruit juice. You want to consume 1 to 2 servings of fruit a day. Now let's go over vegetables. While I would recommend consuming most vegetables, there are some that are starchier than others. To keep things simple, just try to incorporate mostly green, non-starchy vegetables. You want to consume at least 3 large servings of vegetables every day. And last but not least, the fats. You want your fats to come from healthy sources such as peanuts, almonds, pepitas, flaxseed, fish oil, avocado oil, olive oil, and coconut oil. All right, that's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up.